Okay, so I would like
of questions.
I'd like to ask you, in fact. Okay, so may I ask Jay a few questions, if I may? Yeah? All right. I would like to ask, I've read your book and I love it, but I'm just going to ask you a few questions regarding Skin Talks. And I want to know, what made you write this book? What did you have in mind that made you begin and write this book, Skin Talks?
Well, I actually never imagined that I could write a book, a lifestyle book. But Millie Aishwarya, the publisher of Random House, she got in touch with me last year in June, just before my clinic was inaugurated by Sir. And she wanted me to write a book. So I was not convinced. And I sat on it for about 2 months. She was determined. She came back in August and she met me. And she told me that, you write so many articles all the time for all these lifestyle magazines. You're an expert femina. You can do it. I mean, why don't you put all that stuff together? And then I said yes. There are a lot of myths existing about skincare. The biggest myth is that men don't need skincare. Why? Men also have skin, and skin is a part of your body. So, and then there are numerous myths which are existing. People sometimes have the internet to fall back on. They do a lot of, sometimes internet may not be right. I've had a patient who has applied garlic paste on her blemishes because she's read it on a very popular, blog. And she ended up burning her face. She had a scar. It went on for about 6 months. And so, these kind of things need to be busted. So then I took some time and I finally said, okay, Skin Talks will happen. And that's how the big book happened.
There's so much of knowledge in there, and we're so fortunate to actually have your book with us, because like you said, you have actually been able to address so many concerns and so many myths. So thank you for that. But I believe there are 3 sections in your book, and I'd like you to share that with us. Tell us more about these. You've divided it into 3 wonderful sections. So please share that.
I would rather ask everyone, request each and every one of you to buy the book and read what is there in it. So But yes, the book has 3 sections. The first part is about the anatomy of the skin. Skin is the largest organ of the body, and it's like a big factory. It's got sebaceous glands, sweat glands, collagen fibers, elastin fibers, which are forming the framework. There's a lot going on in there. So if you want to actually take care of your skin, you need to know a little more. Then how do you recognize your skin type? That's there. There are various skin disorders which are very common, like pimples and pigmentation, etc. So that's there in the second section. Skin aging, how it's not just a facial which is going to prevent you from aging. It's all the enemies like sunlight and cigarette smoking and alcohol, unhealthy lifestyle, bad diet. So all that is in there. There are little tips. I've narrated a lot of anecdotes, a lot of patient diaries, which you can actually read and relate to and say probably, oh yes, I have this. So maybe I should do this to prevent this from getting worse. So these are the kind of, little interesting stories. And most importantly, I have friends like Illeana and Neetu and, whole lot of them who've given their skincare regime. So that makes it very interesting. And the last part, of course, is about the basic skincare ritual. When you get into any store, there are myriads of skincare products there. So how do you choose the right kind of product? It's not always important to use an anti-aging cream. The best anti-aging cream is a very good moisturizer. So these are the kind of things. I've laid a lot of stress on the fact that dark is also beautiful. You have the number of fairness creams which are there in the market today. And it's very sad where the parents are coming with their children and saying we want them to be fair. जब पैदा हुई थी तो बहुत गोरी थी, but अब काली हो गई है, and that kind of stuff. So not realizing that if you have a high amount of melanin, it is protecting your body from the ultraviolet rays, you don't age fast, you don't wrinkle fast, you don't get sun allergies. So there are a lot of positives, and you also look gorgeous. So I've laid stress on that. That's what I do in my clinic. So I've put that forward. And most importantly, I have also said that, you have to be happy from here. You may do tens and thousands of treatments on the face, but if your heart is sad, and if you're not beautiful from within, you're never going to be beautiful on the outside. And that's what I've talked about in Skin Talks. I've actually put my heart and soul into it.
That's the biggest tip, I feel. Be happy on the inside and shows on the outside.
Yeah.
But this is also for various age groups, right? And it's for men and women and for all age groups. That is correct, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's for all age groups. Anyone can just pick up. It's very simple language, and I hope people like it and appreciate it.
In fact, it's a book. If you start reading it, you just want to keep turning the pages and you want to know everything about your skin because the knowledge is so fantastic. So it's awesome. One last question for you, please.
How many more?
Just one last for you, because I know that you are such an ardent fan of Sir, and I just want to know, how do Sir's movies inspire you?
That's difficult. Okay. So, well, I come from a family which is like a full-fledged Bachchan fan from the time probably I was born. So probably he was this hero for me, whether it was Amar Akbar Anthony or whether it was Zanjeer or Nastik, where he rescued everyone. So I thought I had a little bit of a troubled childhood, and I thought this hero is going to rescue me also one fine day. But what happened as I grew up, I started following him very intensely. And, all of us know he is a good actor, but he's a good writer, he's a good orator, he's a living legend. But he's also a very good human being. And there is so much to learn from him every single day. No, we can't, because this I want people to know, because the blog that he writes is like a doctrine. He talks about how to deal with things on a day-to-day basis, the day-to-day virtual life. I have some friends from the blog here. So one of them has flown down from Dubai, and he tells you how to, how to be humble, how to be grateful. You just have to read that, and you have to take the message. I mean, probably not everybody gets that take-home message, but that's how it is. And if I am what I am today, it is because of him. I've dedicated the book to him. I've dedicated the book to my husband and my mother. She's up somewhere. She must be very happy because her favorite Neetu ji is here. She used to make sure we watched every movie of yours, and she used to try and be like you. She loved you. I told you from day one. My mother. So every time I go back home, and the day I met you, I tell my sister, Ma must be very happy. I wish she was alive. And so yes, there's a lot more to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan than just the movies, Christine. So, he can just change you. I mean, I think all my virtues, whatever I am today, I owe it to you, sir. Thank you so much.
And I have seen
Thank
that.
you
I have
so
witnessed
much.
that. That's true. All right. Thank you so much, Jay, for those lovely, inspiring words. So, may I please ask you a few questions? Okay, so you have written the foreword after reading the book, Skin Talks. What was it about the book that made you write the foreword?
It was her persistence and her, I think, about 2036 SMSs that she sends from every part of the world. I'm about to enter this conference in some weird place in South America. What is it? And I'm having butterflies. Okay, so what can I do about your butterflies? But she has to say, and I'm going to do this, and this is what has happened. So it was just an after effect of this very persistent lady who is really quite wonderful. So you can't refuse her, and that is why I thought I do this forward. All what you heard before this is really quite inconsequential, so please don't pay too much attention to it.
That is for us to decide, sir. And I'm sure Priya, Neetu ji knows. Neetu ji, Illeana, all of you.
But I'd like to interrupt here because Jay had told me, she told me a very interesting trivia about regarding the foreword which you had written, and I'd like you to share it with the audience. You had shared a story with me, so could you share that?
So I rehearsed in my mind. So when Ellie said you have to write, and I agreed. I wrote the first chapter and sent it to my editor. She kind of gave me 0 on 10. And she said, this kind of a chapter cannot go. You have to read more lifestyle books to get the idea, because this is for people who do not have a medical background. So I read a lot of lifestyle books on, yoga, nutrition, and so on and so forth. And every book had a foreword. On the cover there was foreword by somebody, foreword by Sharad Khan. And I'm like, I can't have the foreword by anybody but sir, because he's my mentor, he's my guru. People have gurus all over. For me, he is my guru. So I started rehearsing in my mind every day for a month. This is what I'm going to say to him. This is what I'm going to say to him. And finally, when the